Phillies won yesterday. Phil's got to win. So, look, let's get into the Phil's thing here. Ugly-ish game yesterday, but the Phils prevailed. The center fielder certainly helped. The center fielder from the Cardinals certainly helped.
Did he?
Right?
As a runner and a fielder. Unbelievable.
That guy, he's got 2 freaking drops. He's got a left-hand turn on a beat-it-out to first base.
Which you never see.
Don't.
Like, honestly, I don't remember. I know it's happened, but I don't remember it. Yeah.
It's really ridiculous. So, look, Aaron Nola and the Phils, look, Nola pitched well. That's a tough spot. There's a lot of rain coming down. That was obviously an ugly, to a certain extent,
you're not
going to
be all worried about his velocity being down.
No.
Yeah, it was atrocious conditions, and he went out there. 2
Battles.
days in a row, we had guys go out there in less than perfect conditions. And I don't know. I'm told how difficult it is. I'm not an expert, having not tried to do this myself. I know it looks a lot different. He went out there and just pitched like it was nothing. I know the velocity was down a little bit, but it seemed like he really trudged through it.
He did
yesterday.
good. Look, he did well.
He did a nice job.
Look, he did well. You got a Castellanos single that gets you an RBI. You get the 2 RBI singles you get the JT thing, and then Bohm with the smack up the middle. So, look, good job by the Phils yesterday. Good job on the road trip, 4-2 on the road trip. They even it up on the season now at 6-6. Obviously, we'll take your calls on yesterday specifically at 215-592-9494. But let's get into the broader Phillies thing as it relates to the start of this season, and then, of course, as it relates to projecting the rest of the way. It has been no breaking news here through the first 12 games, 11 in particular. It was pretty strong reaction. WIP around town. Maybe you, maybe your friends, maybe not.
You?
Certainly may. Yeah, certainly may. I mean, there have been a lot of negative comments said about the Phillies at the start of the season. I wonder, and I'll pose the question to you at 215-592-9494. Do you think the aggressive reaction, which in many cases has been a negative reaction to this point, starting the Phillies season, do you think that negative reaction has been ready for this? An overreaction? I mean, we've been there before as Philadelphia sports fans. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. John, through 12 games now on April 11th, the club's 6-6. Most commentary negative to this point. Do you think the reaction by talk show hosts, by a lot of fans, by a lot of callers, a lot of WIP listeners, do you think the reaction has been an overreaction?
Absolutely. You are being too harsh. They still might start fast, by the way. They can still get out to a fast start this season. They could
that would be
jump out.
That would be a delayed fast start.
A slightly delayed fast start. They're 6-6, Joe. They're 6-6. That was 5-10 last year at its worst for the slow start. 6-10 in 2022. So the slow start has gotten slightly less slow. It is annoying that the performance hasn't matched the talent level. I agree with that. But this team goes on tears. And it could start today. We know we're going to feel great about it when all the big boppers are hitting and all the guys are moving. Joe, you're kind of like my little puppy Louie. I do. I view you as Louie right now because he's been hurt a lot in his young puppy life. I just adopted him, my family and I, like a month and a half ago.
Well done, sir.
And I'm being considerate of your feelings here. I do understand you're kind of flinchy. He was very afraid of the world when we adopted him because of his prior experience, and he would flinch. He would shy away. When I'd raise my hand to tell him to sit, he would shy away. And now, after a month and a half, he no longer does that. He has seen that nothing bad comes when I raise my hand to tell him to sit, and he can trust me. I think this team is going to prove to you eventually that you can trust them, but the last couple years with the slow starts, it's you got that in your back pocket. You're saying, guys, you're not good enough because the last 2 years haven't been good enough. That needs to improve. Well, they're trying to show us that they're improving.
John, you know what the irony is, and I appreciate the puppy analogy, and I'm a dog. I feel like Meg Ryan in
You're a really
when Harry met. Remember that song?
That's a really
no. But remember when Harry Met Sally?
You know a lot about
is
dogs.
One of us in this analogy a dog?
Oh yeah, sure.
Yes, you're the dog, Meg Ryan. All right. So here's the thing,
You should be
John.
proud of that. No,
Well,
he's a very nice dog.
I mean, I want to be Butkus from Rocky, but that's a whole other matter. All right. So here's the deal. I hear you. I will acknowledge that maybe the reaction has been an overreaction with the negativity. Obviously, there's a chance the Phillies could win the World Series, and 6-6 won't matter. 4-8 won't matter. But here's the irony to what you just said, John. You related, let's say, my reaction, and probably the reaction of a lot of people, to the start of the last two seasons. That's not, for me, where it comes from. For me, it relates to the end of the last two seasons. Here's the way I look at the Phillies, and I'm curious where everyone stands here at 215-592-9494. If you think the reaction has been an overreaction and kind of unfair to them. So my mindset is the following. It has not been an overreaction, has not even been close to one, because I now judge the Phillies, and this is a credit to them because they've become good. I judge the Phillies, and I think a lot of us do, based on how we perceive they'll do in October, individually and collectively. And they get, and I mean, let the word go forth. I feel like Kennedy's inauguration. Let the word go forth.
We got issues, man.
That they are now going to be judged by me the same way Donovan and Andy's Eagles were judged by me, the same way Joel's 76ers have been judged by so many of us, based on the perception of whether they will win a championship. Maybe that's unfair because it's hard to do, but that is the standard of excellence that they are striving for, that, to their credit, they've put themselves in a position to have a chance for, so I will judge them based on that. So when I see Schwarber, again, low batting average, not a great on-base percentage, I don't think I'm out of line on April 11th to say maybe he shouldn't lead off. Castellanos, maybe they should try to find a way to dump him. Sir Anthony, maybe he's not going to be the guy anymore. I was a big believer in Sir Anthony. It's shaky. And we all know that affected them last October.
He has not been great.
Yeah,
and we should be worried that Sir Anthony doesn't look the same as he did when we thought he was all-world.
That's how
I
view
the other relievers, Joe, have been really outstanding.
I know.
I mean, Jeff Hoffman righted his ship. Alvarado and Strahm have locked it down since a bit of a shaky start. Soto has been really good, too. Sir Anthony's the only guy I'm really nervous about.
Then why are
and Kirkering on the way. Should be back this weekend and has been lights out in the minors.
You ready for
this? In the minors.
This question, maybe it's rhetorical, maybe it's not. Then why are they 6-6?
Because they're doing better than last year.
Baseball.
They've left themselves room for improvement.
Man.
Baseball.
They didn't start out. You know why they're 6-6? Because the bats haven't started hitting yet.
That's right.
And it's cold. We talk about this every year. Yeah. Their bats don't start hot. It sucks. But do you think the Phillies aren't going to hit this year? Do you think Bryce Harper's not going to hit? Do you think Kyle Schwarber's not going to get hot? Do you think Trey Turner's not going to start hitting?
I think they'll hit. I think they'll also hit inconsistently.
They're 6-6. They have not had that bad a start to the season.
Are the bats cold for the other teams?
Puppy
Joe. A lot of teams are,
the cold weather.
Some are, some aren't. But Joe, yes, there are a lot of teams that are cold to start the year.
Puppy Joe thinks that this team isn't going to feed him. Puppy Joe, they will feed you. And when they do feed you, it's going to be that good, raw food diet. You're going to love the food. Just keep an open mind, man. This is a different season. Yeah, I know. And a lot of the guys are the same faces.
They're really the same team, though. They really are. Let's be real.
The same faces with more experience under their belts, better expectations of what is to come. And they are hell-bent on making it better than what it was the last two seasons.
Well, look, we should
appreciate that to some degree.
Look, I do appreciate that to some degree. I do have belief in the Phillies. But we'll take your calls and where you stand, out of the gate. 6-6 for the Phils and a win yesterday, which was good to see. 215-592-9494. In your opinion, has the aggressive reaction to the Phils start of the season been an overreaction? Put another way, has the negative reaction, which for many of us has been, what it's been, pretty strong, has it been too much? Has it been unfair? Has it been not leaning into hey, they're going to make the playoffs. Of course they're going to make the playoffs. Everybody chill and take a chill pill and the old Aaron Rodgers, RELAX. Where do you stand on this whole thing? 215-592-9494. Coming up, your shot to win a super cool prize. Super cool prize today on our show. We'll get to that. We'll rock all the calls. You got to call to win the prize. 215-592-9494. Joe DeCamera and John Ritchie. It is, of course, 94 WIP.